For round 9 of the TVR Tuscan Challenge, 2 qualifying races and a main event for the 40 entrants. On pole position for the first qualifying heat, Michael Caine, the fastest man in practice, and alongside him Troy Dunlop, as they were at Oulton Park in the previous round of the series. Steve Hyde and Giles Cooper on row 2 of the grid. Ashley Ward and this man, TVR pressman Ben Samuelson, on row 3 of the grid. We take the start with Ben. Well, we would have done if he hadn't stalled the engine. Looked like being a demon getaway, but then dropped the clutch a little too soon, and he's down in the midfield. Meanwhile, Michael Caine and Troy Dunlop head the field into the first turn. There is the 33 machine of James Steventon in the middle of the field. He started in 7th place. And the rest of them struggling through. Wheel-to-wheel racing here. And somebody well off on the outside there, the 29 machine of Rod Barrett, using all the racing room and plenty more. Steve Hyde in 3rd place. And he's right on the tailgate of Troy Dunlop, as missing the breaking point by a country mile. Let's see if he rejoins somewhere further on. Not sure who that was. Here we are with Ben Samuelson though. Car number 88. Through the bomb hole. Compression there. And there is our late breaker. It's Andy Britnell, one of a pair of brothers racing in the championship. Caine leads, and Dunlop down to 3rd place now as Hyde moves up into 2nd place. Riding with Porsche racer Richard Finney onto the long, fast Revit straight, using a handful of opposite lock and all the concrete on the outside. And Michael Caine spins away the lead. The championship leader, the man who was in such dominant form last time out at Oulton Park, drops his car off the road at the S's. I can't believe I've just seen that. Michael Caine does not make mistakes like that. That's absolutely astonishing. Steve Hyde leads from Troy Dunlop. Giles Cooper right behind Michael Caine. Ashley Ward in 3rd place. There is Cooper. And then Steventon, James Steventon in 33. Well, my goodness me, I can't believe that Steve Hyde even thought that was happening either. Hyde, Dunlop, and now Michael Caine trying to take a place back from Ashley Ward. Caine in 4th place, Ward in 3rd, Giles Cooper behind him. Now Caine looking again down the inside, he's got it this time. He must be absolutely spitting bullets inside the cockpit there. Riding with Richard Finney through the same corner. Finney about to make a move as well. This is Anders Hildebrand ahead of him. He goes to the outside. That'll be the long way round at the S's, but that's actually the best way through as Troy Dunlop takes the lead. Dunlop now in the number 4 car takes the lead from the 10 machine of Steve Hyde, and Hyde has got Michael Caine closing in from behind. Troy Dunlop really needs to shake a leg now and break away, because Michael Caine is closing, and if they're not very careful, he'll reel them in. And then they are going to be in trouble. Troy Dunlop all over the place there as they got into the chicane. And further back there is Ben Samuelson carrying the onboard camera and having his own battle out of Coram Curve and down into the chicane at Russell. 2x2 Ben, very close racing. Well, he picks up the spot there. Goes around the outside on the exit. And that is why TVR Tuscans are so exciting to watch as well as to drive. They are so close. The wine-coloured car is Troy Dunlop. The white machine on the right-hand side of the picture is Steve Hyde. And the silver, white and blue car, 44, is erstwhile leader Michael Caine. Now back up into 2nd place. I said if they couldn't shake him off, he would catch them and run them down, and he's done just that. And now Troy Dunlop must be watching his mirrors very intently, because Michael Caine is very definitely the quickest man of the moment in the TVR Tuscan. Half a second quicker than anybody else in practice. Absolutely astonishing. And in the next half second behind Michael Caine in practice, there were a further 7 cars. That's how close the field normally is. But Caine superbly hooked up. Off backwards goes David Thomas in number 13. Just stops in time before doing any major damage to the Blue Ridge Computers car. Looks as though he's having trouble restarting it though. He may well have a flat battery. No, off he goes. Well, while he gets it all together, the battle for the lead continues. Michael Caine chasing Troy Dunlop down the Revit straight. He's on the outside. He goes past him. He leaves his braking desperately late, assumes the racing line. He's back in front. And if Troy Dunlop is hoping now that he's going to spin it away again, then I'm afraid he is out of luck. I think Michael Caine has spun away the lead once too often this year already, that being the first time. And here is David Thomas. Obviously got something else wrong with the car. Meanwhile, Caine, Dunlop and then Hyde, your top three. Michael Caine back in front and just in time because the checkered flag awaits as he takes victory in the first qualifying heat for round 9 at Snetterton. Well, what a fight back from Michael Caine. Drops it off the road, comes back on in fourth and then fights his way back up to win it. Second heat then, the second fastest man in qualifying, Mike Jordan on pole, closest to the camera. Greg Catton alongside him in car number 7, Steve Sutcliffe, Ed Sharp, Matt Doman, chairman of TVR, Peter Wheeler, and the rest of them head down to the first corner. And they all seem to be getting through safely. Ed Sharp shoved a bit further down the order as Richard Stanton goes past him. And off on the dirt goes the number 66 machine. Comes back on as we ride down the Revit straight in the lead car. That's Mike Jordan on the right-hand side of the picture, but he's under pressure. Oh, this is a bold move around the outside from Greg Catton. Doesn't quite get it, but he does keep Steve Sutcliffe behind him. Sutcliffe in the 27 car. Sustained damage in practice at Alton Park last time out and had to fight his way back up the order. Stays in third place. He's got Matt Doman, the purple car, in fourth place for very close company. Then Ed Sharp a little further back in the orange machine, that's fifth. So Jordan, Catton, Sutcliffe, Doman, the top four, and Ed Sharp almost in touch but not quite. Plenty of battling further back. There's the 18 car. Brian Colwell chasing Jeff Evans. Down to the chicane they come, keeping it nice and clean. Further up though, Ed Sharp gets inside Matt Doman. Can't stay away, spins on the inside. Doman continues. Yeah, I think so, yes. There he goes round the corner. And here are the race leaders catching slower traffic. It's Chris Randall ahead of them, the back marker in the yellow car. Mike Jordan ahead of Greg Catton, as they were in the feature race at Alton Park as they battled for second. Catton was in second. Jordan just got by him. And then something happened on the final lap and Jordan ended up in the barriers. But no such problems here as he wins ahead of Greg Catton, and he will start on the front row of the grid for the main event. Well, in the crowd is the new Mrs. Dunlop celebrating her wedding with a honeymoon at sunny Snetterton. Lucky old her. Jordan and Caine on the front row of the grid. Michael Caine on pole position. Oh, and there's a staller further down the order. And everybody just gets past him. Dear oh dear, that was very bad news indeed for a moment or two, but the whole field got around the stationary car and off they go. Riding with Richard Finney, right ahead of him is number 17 Richard Stanton, and then Matt Doman ahead of them. Ed Sharp, the orange car, you can see is Finney again. His favourite line in a Porsche, runs very wide there onto the Revit straight. Michael Caine leads Mike Jordan. Troy Dunlop in third place. This is going to be a very tough battle. Greg Catton in fourth, the first of the white cars with the coloured checkers. And there, right in the middle of it, the blue and white and yellow machine, the 88 car. That is Ben Samuelson, the TVR pressman. Caine and Jordan, Dunlop in third place. A very close battle. Richard Finney here right on the tail of them, and somebody's been off there kicking up the dirt. Now he gets a good run out of Russell around the outside. He'll have to go, but he's got a good chance to get by there. The 67 car was Jason Shepherd. There is Greg Catton. Right behind him is his teammate in the 10 car, and that's Steve Hyde. And there they go through fifth and sixth positions. Oh dear, and somebody else has gone off. That's 21 Martin Crass. Looks like he's run out of road at the end of the straight. Kane leads Jordan. Dunlop loses third place to Catton. Catton moves up into third. Dunlop in fourth. Hyde in fifth place. And then on the brakes, Steve Sutcliffe, the all-white car with the autocar windscreen sticker, in sixth position. Right behind him, Giles Cooper. And here comes Troy Dunlop around the outside and Greg Catton. Got a better run through Russell, and he picks up that place again on the straight. So Catton back down to fourth. Behind him, his teammate Hyde. And Steve Sutcliffe looking down the inside of Steve Hyde. Richard Finney right behind Matt Doman and Ed Sharp. This is the next group of cars on the road. There you can see the battle ahead of them. Giles Cooper and the others right ahead. Richard Finney goes to the left. And Matt Doman's easing over on him, making it difficult, but not actually forcing him onto the grass, for which I'm sure Richard Finney will be very, very grateful. And a long trail break there. Oh, as Ed Sharp gets it wrong, knocks Richard Finney onto the grass. Oh, well, I don't know who recovered there, whether Richard Finney got it under control or the car found its own way back. Matt Damon went around the outside, ended up in the dirt. So they all continue, and the leaders out front. Michael Caine from Mike Jordan, first and second. Troy Dunlop in third place. Steve Hyde in fifth place now, because in fourth has gone Steve Sutcliffe, the autocar car. Then Giles Cooper, then Greg Catton. So Catton's gone from fourth to seventh. He's obviously outbraked himself somewhere, and damage at the front of Steve Sutcliffe's car. I'm not suggesting anything, you understand, but they may not be completely unrelated. Sutcliffe rubs wheels with the number 10 machine of Steve Hyde, and he goes off. So Giles Cooper picks up 1-2 places there. Now Steve Hyde behind him, and then Greg Catton behind him. Those white cars with the same livery, just in different colours. Further back, Ben Samuelson. He's ahead of number 17. That is Richard Stanton. Riding with Ben. Oh, not going to be too ambitious there. Oh! Left the door open, did Ben, and Stanton came down the inside. Now on the Revit straight, Richard Stanton ahead. Ben Samuelson will try and pick up some speed, pick up the slipstream, and maybe make a move down the inside, up into top gear. Rushing down here at over 130 miles an hour, desperately late on the brakes, but he can't take him. So Ben loses that place. Continues to fight on, only does 3 or 4 races a year, does Ben Samuelson, so certainly his racecraft not as finely polished as some of these guys, but he does write a good race anyway. Oh, a couple more going off there. That is the 49 car of Jeff Maidment, and I think that may have been Peter Dodd as well he was tangled up with. Meanwhile, Steve Sutcliffe under pressure from Steve Hyde. Don't forget, this is for third place. Sutcliffe by the pit wall, still smoking from that damaged bonnet. And Hyde on the outside. And he was gesturing over. I think he may have been trying to tell Steve Sutcliffe something. Not quite sure what it would be, though. Ben Samuelson with the TVR chairman Peter Wheeler right ahead of him. Uh-oh, Ben, remember who pays your bills. Remember who employs you. Whatever you do, pass him cleanly, but don't hit him. Around goes the number 50 machine of David Porter, and that's a bad place to lose your engine, David, right at the S's. Here comes Mike Jordan. Yellow flags are out. Michael Caine is a long way ahead of Mike Jordan in second place. Troy Dunlop in third. Oh dear, and off goes Giles Cooper. Now, he may have been caught by surprise in the S's by those yellow flags, and he loses 3 or 4 positions. Oh dear, and Richard Finney was caught by surprise as well there. You don't normally spin as you go through corners under yellow flags unless you're very surprised to find something in the track. Right, closing stages then. Michael Caine from Mike Jordan, Troy Dunlop, Steve Hyde, Steve Sutcliffe, and Greg Catton. And that's the way it'll end. Under safety car conditions for the final lap. And Michael Caine unable to be passed, but he had a huge lead anyway. A well-deserved win for Michael Caine. And he continues to extend his championship lead. Even gets a soaking for his troubles. So Caine, the winner from Jordan, Dunlop and Hyde. And in the championship, he's pulling away from Troy Dunlop.